So I got some bad news for you, homie. So underneath here, you got your heater core, bro. So the heater core, I can see got some residue or some rust. So I checked the coolant. It looked like it had some residue of rust in the engine coolant as well. This pipe right here is hot as a motherfucker. This is the heater core. The heater core is bone cold, man. Ain't no heat getting in there. And this one's kind of warm because it's on the retrieving side of the heater core. So I gotta put my hand on that, no problem. But this one is very hot, and the heater core itself is bone cold. So you gotta remove the whole dash, my homie. There you go. That's your confirmation that the joint was clogged. Trying to flush it out. You can run it backwards. There you go. Pushing all that junk out. But honestly, I really wouldn't trust it. Even if doing this, flush it out. Look, see? So, you get a little better, but that thing is done. So, there you go, man. Rest assured, I got you. All right, guys, so it was a little hard to get a good view where I had the GoPro mounted, because once you push this out the way, it kind of just blocks the view of all the recording. So once you have this all the way out, now I already went ahead and took the liberty of removing the old one, which is a lot easier to remove but harder to install without damaging it. So right now I'm in the process of loosening up this reinforcement bar that goes across the front here, and what that's going to do is going to allow me, I went ahead and loosened up all the bolts around the excuse me, I got a little bit of COVID. I went ahead and loosened up all the bolts that pertains to this this unit right here that houses the evaporator and the heater core. So now the thing that's stopping me is this bar here from just getting enough movement out so that you can slide this in without bending the bars, without bending the tube, sorry. And the goal is to get these to go in here without any damage to the core itself. So, you know, a lot of it is, you know, a little touch and play, but pretty much this is what you guys will be looking at doing once you get to this point. All right, so I'll tune back in and just add some more shit that you might need to know to do this job, but it really fucking sucks. So if you ever get a job like this, if it's not your own car or you ain't making good amount of money on it, go ahead and put a flag on it and ship it. All right, peace. All right, so once you install it, right, the first thing you want to do is pressure test it, or at least leak test it. So right now I'm leak testing, I'm running a hose through it. So you don't want to get into the point where you install this whole thing and then find out at the very end that the bad boy is leaking. So we're in good shape. All right, guys, here's what you need to know to get this done. in order to get to this part, you're gonna have to remove the blower motor, all the plugs that go to the CD player, the audio amplifier. At the bottom of the HVAC sub-assembly, which is that big white box in the center, there's gonna be 2 ducts that run up to the bottom of it that feed the floor ducts. Those you have to remove it, because if you don't remove those, it's gonna feel that it's stuck, and you're gonna be looking and looking and looking for another bolt, and you can't figure out why it doesn't move. Those ducts are actually way more rigid than they seem, so you got to make sure you remove those ducts. And in order to do that, you have to remove the center console, as you see, which was already removed in this video, and from there you just pry those puppies off, and you'll see you'll be able to make enough room to shimmy forward and over to the left the HVAC subassembly, so that you can go ahead and pull out the heater core and then install the new one into it. So as you see at this point, I'm already reinstalling the entire system. Don't forget to plug all those servos on the side of the HVAC subassembly. Also reinstall your CD player, plug everything back where it's supposed to go, as well as your airbag system and anything that goes along on that right side right there, which I think is also the amplifier that's located there. You want to make sure everything is plugged back in, because you do not want to have to drop anything out after all of it's installed. Now this car was kind of a pain because it had every goddamn sub system that you can imagine. That. Gonna mix a little bit of water in here. Now, I know what y'all gonna say. You're supposed to put distilled water. Man, fuck all that shit. So you take your bucket, put it up here if you want to, and we'll go ahead and run the system into a vacuum. Pretty good. In the green, let it go. It's holding a vacuum pretty tight, so you have a good tight system. So now what you're going to do, you're going to take this other side here, drop it in your bucket like so. I'm going to go over here and bust that open. Just make sure you don't pick up any air when you're doing this, and you should be golden. Don't pick up a little bit of air. It's all right. Still moving. Cool. So all right. So once you're all done sucking up all the coolant, you can go ahead and remove this here. Take this out the way. You're gonna pour that in a second. Remove your airlift. All right. So once we're done filling it, it's gonna be just like this. This is this is optimal. This is what you want to see. It's filled all the way up to the top. Everything in the system is completely filled with coolant. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn it on, let it run, come up to operation temperature. Let all the coolant circulate through the system. Let the thermostat open up, and then if we need to, we're gonna go ahead and add some coolant to the radiator just to top it off. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's all it takes, man. Real easy.